anybody experiencing, this is a good place to talk about it. Ask me questions. I have gone through a spiritual awakening for the last 8 years. How to learn if you are going through a spiritual awakening, discovering the ins and the outs. I'm your woman. Come to me, ask me questions. I also share how to communicate with body. I share how to find what part of the body is fighting you from moving forward. And yes, somebody had mentioned different personalities, and we all have different personalities, right? I mean, we start learning about our different personalities, like what works, what doesn't work from the time we're toddlers. And so somebody had mentioned that personality, what did they call it? The personality, they called it something, but it's a symptom. We all have different personalities. We have the personality that loves to eat ice cream, the kid in us that loves to get toys. That's the kid in us. We have, hold on. We have the personality that gets angry, the temper tantrums. Even as adults, we have temper tantrums. Hi there. Did I just one? Okay, there we go. We have the personality that gets angry when we don't get things that we desire. The squirrels. Hey, squirrels. I was just playing with the squirrels this morning. So I am live on TikTok and YouTube, and I wanted to see how this works. I used to do this like 10 years ago on Periscope and YouTube. And I thought, well, I've got an extra phone. Let's try it. But I'm here to talk about questions about pain. And if you have any, and if you're going through a spiritual awakening, this is where you'd like to be. You can ask me a question. It's poetry, friend. Don't show for 10 minutes. Do you have any questions? This is a good place to be. All right, so I talk a lot about spiritual awakening. Not many know they're going through a spiritual awakening, but a lot of us are going and waking up and discovering something's not right. And a lot of the younger kids are going through it. And there's a shift going on our planet. Many of us are like, what is going on? So why do you keep coming up on my, but not on my, and that's a little rude. So have no idea. So there, that fixed that. All right. Many of us are going through changes and we don't understand why. And what I've learned is a lot of the energy that we carry is unprocessed, stuck energy. Number one viewer, more like can attract viewers. I've only been going live for 2 weeks, so some of this stuff is kind of new for me. If you have a question about pain, spiritual awakening, seeing unusual stuff, going through different experiences, this is where you want to be. Hi, Sarah. And I'm a little slow, so bear with me. If you ask a question, it may take me a little while to get to it. So I share that when we're not processing emotions, unprocessed emotions weigh our body down. If we're not processing, and we're not processing because when we drink, smoke, eat, we are stuffing the inner energy down in our body, and you've got to let it out. So processing comes from sitting and asking the body, what do I need to do to let go? The body has to process. So because I didn't know this until I was 50 years old, I had to process for the last 8 years of my entire life, and a lot of the energy wasn't even ours. So if you work in an office, many of us are absorbing other people's energy, that stuck energy that, depending on where you are, how you feel about yourself, if you're an empath, you're absorbing everybody's energies. Nurses, doctors, they absorb people's energies and don't realize why they're so tired at the end of the day. I'm trying to think people that work with patients, people that are in physical therapy, anybody that's working with people, even people in grocery stores. When you're working with customers all day, you're absorbing their pain and their frustrations. You feel the energy. It's energy. So going through spiritual awakening, we didn't learn this growing up. We didn't learn that, hey, we're supposed to release that stuck energy. Our body just absorbs stuff like a sponge. You know, think of yourself like a child. Children have temper tantrums. That's how they release all that stuck energy. They they are feeling their parents' energy. That's why they're having temper tantrums, because they don't know how to let it go. Like animals shake, right? They're shaking all that stuck energy out. So if you have a question about something you're going through with pain, let me know. There is a part of our body that says, I am afraid. And unless you get to why you're afraid, you will struggle. You have to be able to identify. And so I'm sharing on Thursday, I will be putting on a live event. If you're interested, make a comment. A live event, how to communicate with your body, and tune into what is holding me back from having health, happiness, and success. I am a self-healer. Good morning. My wife is still asleep with her boyfriend, so I have to be quiet. You're funny, Chuck. Keep the good jokes going. And where's your girlfriend? You guys gonna go eat donuts? Anyways, just to let you know, YouTube followers, I am also on TikTok. Yes, I'm cheating. I don't know how to do it both at the same time other than doing this. Okay, I don't know if that's good or bad, Chuck. Do you share your wife? I'm sorry to hear that if that's not real. What's my future? So I am not a psychic. I'm intuitive. But Sarah, if I was to guess, it's good. Yeah, it's open for her only. Okay. I share with people how to tune into their own body. And when you tune into your own body, you get the answers. And many times, because we don't sit and listen, it's hard to listen and get the answers. So I was told that when you sit and listen, you'll hear your spirit guides. Are you with me? Spirit guides, we're all guided. And it's our choice. Some people call it God. They're guided by God. Some of us say universe. But many of us don't listen because it's scary. It's scary to sit still and wonder what the voices are going to say. I was so afraid, but sometimes you think that the voices are going to tell you to do something that's not right. That's what you're afraid of. You're afraid of you're going in the wrong direction when you spend all this time going in a certain direction. But sometimes it's good to hear those voices. So those voices are actually a knowing voice. They don't, I was thinking I was going to actually hear a voice. So there are voices in your head. Those are all your thoughts. So I had to learn why I was drinking and doing drugs and eating, and all those thoughts told me it's because I felt unwanted, unloved, I'm a loser, I'm fat, I'm stupid, I can't do anything right. All those thoughts are not your guides. So when you ask your guides, or if you ask God, what can I do to move forward? It's going to be a positive answer. It's not going to say you're a loser. Those are your thoughts. So when I discovered that I was supposed to help people, because I've always helped people one-on-one, I'm doing group coaching now. And in fact, if you're interested, okay, Chuck, if you're interested, I am putting a class together on Thursday, and I'm going to be going live every day and talking about it. If you have questions and you're looking to change your life, make a comment and I'll send you the information. I will be posting it. Follow me and I'll post it so you can have access to it. It's on Thursday. Tuning in, communicating with your body, discovering what's in your way. High quality, well-educated trolls make live streaming much better. Thanks, David. So that's Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Can you share with me where you're coming in from? I'm in California, just to let you know. And it's 9:15 a.m. I'd like to know where everybody's at right now. Where are you? Can you share with me? Share with me where you are, what country, what state. I'm interested. And if you have any questions on how something that's going on related to health, happiness, success, I'm in California also. Oh, David Thompson, your name sounds familiar. Do you live in Newport Beach? Jesus is King. Jesus loves you. Thank you, Colton. Yes, Jesus. But people share that only God can help. And I'm not going to talk about God as much as I say universe, and God can take you, lead you to where you need to go. But you still have to do the work. And yes, I've had to do the work. Oops. I just kicked the phone. There we go. Silly me. Anyways, so if there are any questions, a spiritual talk, spiritual is more open to where people are looking at religion in a different way and realizing there's only one God, right? As far as I know. But there's so many different types of religions, and it's not going to be a topic to talk about. Spiritual is being in spirituality is opening yourself up to opportunities and understanding that there's something outside of everything that we've learned. The truth is coming up. So a spiritual awakening is opening your eyes and realizing that what we believe is untrue. And although I pray and I do speak to the universe, going to church does not necessarily mean that they are, because a lot of people say I go to church every Sunday, but they're not listening. They're not hearing what they're supposed to be doing. A lot of people feel because I go to church, I'm a great person. We're all great people. But don't brag about going to church, because if you're not sitting there listening, if you're still on your cell phone, you're not really paying attention to the message. And that's all I'm going to talk about God. So in church, I'm not here to judge. It's just learning that I can do everything I need to do right here at the park outside. I'm an outdoors person, and I get into the grass and I bring in the fresh air. I go to the beach and listen to the birds and the trees, and the wind. And this is how I pray, and I'm guided through the universe what to do next. I was guided. I like a prison to keep people captive. Okay, David. That's kind of like what it is. Hello, I want to say hi. Your words have made a deep impact on me as a person who does not have a religion. I still respect it though. Yeah, some people need something to go to, which I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm an individual person. I was feeling invisible, and I didn't feel that people saw me because I had a fear. Many of us are coming out and realizing my entire life I was trying to fit in. When we work on fitting in, it's because we are hiding. I heard this recently. In my entire life, I was hiding, and I was told my voice is my moneymaker. And if you think about this, women didn't speak a whole lot. Women were silenced. And if you're speaking using your voice, you're making money, right? My nose is itching. And men are always talking, making the money. So now women are coming out and speaking. And if my voice is my moneymaker, I need to use it. I've gone through this spiritual awakening. Excellent. It is your choice, not some bozo who doesn't know you. So I'm here to share how to get yourself through a spiritual awakening, go through the changes, communicate with the body. So many of us have listened to everybody else when we have our own inside what's going to work for us. I help teach and communicate with your own body. Your body is only you know the answer. Nobody knows the answer to what's going on with you. If you're having unhealthy relationships, if you're having health issues, wait a minute, let me read this. Are you a follower of Christ? Because he loves you, and he's the only way to salvation. Jesus is the way to the truth and the life. And I'm not saying this to make you guys mad. I'm saying this to spread the love. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I am guided, and although I believe you, there are just things that are in the way uh, that are lies. Like, who wrote the Bible? I think and believe if a woman wrote the Bible, there'd be more truth to it. What do you think about that? The Bible has changed so many times, and as when you're learning what the truth is, you learn that there's a lot of lies based on the stories. So I go with guidance. I am a 16-year-old girl. Oh, and I do like girls, but my parents, even though they are Christian, do not accept it. Know that that's coming from their beliefs on man is supposed to be with woman. But in time, they remember they're going with what they were brought up with. Know that what you do is perfectly safe and fine, and you have to just accept yourself. Many, and I can't say this, but the women that I've worked with, and even the men that became gay, had sexual assaults to them. The men that I've known were at a Catholic church and were taken advantage of by the priest. So sometimes that takes effect. I had a woman who was a lesbian, and she was raped by her dad and grandfather. Not saying that this has happened, but we know what's good and bad naturally. Sometimes, but we're not guided. We're guided by people, and so we think that we're wrong, right? So does that make sense? But I don't see anything wrong with liking girls, being a lesbian, that's fine. I kind of like cellulite on my women. Does that make me a weirdo? Absolutely not. That just means you're non-judgmental. There's no judgment. You're perfect. Whatever you like is fine. There are some weird things that are out there. That's not weird to me at all. Is that your Pam Bondi? I'm not sure what that means, real mosaited. Oh, stop. You are deceived about the Bible. God wrote the Bible. I will pray for your salvation. So whether God wrote the Bible, men wrote the Bible, honey. Deanna, God cannot write. He can guide people to write it, but he's not the one guiding people to write it and lie about it, right? We know what's good naturally. Some of us do not. We are guided by so many people that lie, cheat, and steal that we think this is normal. And we are learning the truth and discovering what's going on. So as a spiritual awakening, I didn't want to get on religion. I am a Christian, and though I do not support that, I still love you as a person, and I think your parents agree. It's not that they hate you, it's that they hate the sin. My parents love me, and they don't go to church. They believe in their God. They're in a different religion than Christian. They're actually Ekis. And stop deceiving people. Jesus is God, and he's all right. I'm not really here to talk about God, but I'm talking about spirituality and going through a spiritual awakening and learning about the truth. Oh my goodness, you are amazing. Thank you. I really needed this. Oh, spread the love and kindness. Thank you. And I love all of you. Whatever you choose to do, whoever you choose to be, I still love you. And I had to learn how to love. When you learn to love everyone and everything, no matter what they've done, you learn to love yourself. And only because I've gone through the spiritual awakening, I've healed and discovered many things about past lives, generational trauma. I don't know if this is too much for you, because I don't know how many of you have gone through a spiritual awakening. The Bible is true. Which Bible? There's hundreds of different people that have written the Bible. So men wrote the Bible, but it was from God. And when you said it changes it from manuscripts that were written from Jesus' time, so they are not making it worse, they are making it more true. No, there's a lot of lies in the Bible. Honey, I think you were quite young. How old are you, Colton? And men wrote the Bible for their religion. If you look at how many different Bibles there are for different religions, Does that make sense? And you know, it's okay to believe it, but when you're going through a spiritual awakening, you awaken understanding what's actually going on, and you're unveiling all the lies. Every religion has their own Bible. And that Bible, let's see, they have their own Bible, right? A lot of deceivers here, wolves in sheep's clothing, sprouts. Yeah, so in different religions, they have their own beliefs, and taking from the poor and giving to the church. I don't agree with that. I think all of us, I mean, God should be free, listening to him, feeling him. We shouldn't have to go to a church to forgive our sins. I can go to the beach and say I'm sorry and be forgiven. I don't need to go to a church to do that. What do you think about gay people then? Then they are good. There's nothing wrong with gay people. I'm talking about the Christian Bible, the real world. Okay, so I'm not a Christian. I am spiritual, and I'm open to all religions. So I believe that all Bibles are good, and it's just I go with guidance, and God comes through us. We don't need to go and read a Bible. God can come through us. I'm paying the first 5 people to message me. God did. Stay safe. Thanks. Okay. But here, and I have nothing against what you're saying. Do you even know what the true meaning of the word church? Do you know what the true meaning is of church? Which meaning in which church? Because they have different meanings depending on what you're going through. I mean, I don't want to talk about church right now. Okay, this is not what I'm here about. I'm here about awakening, and what pain are you going through? Discuss your pain with me. What changes are you going through? When you understand the lessons of what your body is going through, whether it's health, happiness, or success, many of us are experiencing lots of changes. We are awakening. So when you start awakening, I started a religion for solo reasons to get more holidays, and I'm spreading the religion with promise that every believer gets a goth mommy. Beautiful. I just got out of jail. Thomas, congratulations. How long, can you share how long you were in jail? I keep pushing buttons. So, all right, so I'm asking, I know somebody's from California. I never did see where in California. And is there anybody going through a spiritual awakening? Thank you, Colton, for praying for us. I do a lot of praying, and I do ask a lot of questions how to move forward. So again, if we're talking about moving forward, there's many of us that are stuck. The Bay Area. So I'm in San Diego. I'm going through a spiritual sleeping. Sleeping's fun, right? I never liked sleeping until I got into my 50s. And sleeping is good. I did take naps though in my 20s, but I had a physical job. Anybody going through spiritual awakening that needs guidance? I'm doing the Kundalini. So I do Kundalini yoga, and I still don't have enough information about what Kundalini is. I heard it was bad. I heard it was good. There's so much misinformation out there. Hi, Angie. There's so much information. That's why I have this class on Thursday, to communicate with your own body, so you understand what's true for you, what your beliefs are. There's many of us that are so disillusioned and confused because there's so much information that we get pulled in different directions, because we read about one thing and then we read about something else. It's like, well, which one's right? Which one's wrong? You got to take the information in yourself. And that's what we do from the time we're born. Harley Whitall. Is this class free? This class is free, yes. How to manifest a goth mommies by spiritual energies. I'm interested. Make a comment and share with me on that. I may not be able to understand it by talking here. Hi, I'm new. My name is Alexa. Hi, Alexa. So I go live every day, Monday through Saturday. Monday through Friday, I go live every day at 9 o'clock. It's a spiritual awakening. It's what Jesus was telling us about. So again, I've never read the Bible, and don't judge me, but does Jesus talk about in the Bible a spiritual awakening? Can someone share with that? Because people are awakening because there's so much corrupt stuff going on. I will come to the yoga on Thursday, but only if you promise to cover up. I don't want to see your cleavage. You don't see my cleavage now, but yeah, it'll be covered. So the class, it's not a yoga class. It's getting in touch with your body, learning to communicate. I'm going to share with you, bring all your pain. And the pain, cast you manual breathing. It is breathing. Thank you. Chris Kraft, Batty. I'm sorry if I didn't say your names. George, will you cover up your shoulders? Yes, I will cover up my shoulders. Thank you for letting me know I should cover up my shoulders. Happy Saturday. This some corny shit. Empty mind. So on Thursday, Pacific Standard Time at 1 p.m., I'll be sharing how to communicate with the body. If you have pain, if you're having problems with love, whatever it is, if you're going through, what the hell is wrong with these people? I'm not sure. Hi there. Hi there, ma'am. Spiritual awakening, going through pain, struggling. I'm going to go through a breathwork, detox, healing. I'm going to be sharing, guiding you how to communicate with the body, because we are so misinformed about information. Your body knows what's a lie and what's not. Thank you, Chris, for saying I'm beautiful. Okay, then I will see you on Thursday. Please be professional. No body exploitation. Okay, I can do that. Hi, you're so pretty. I would use all my energy to create a spell that attracts all goth mommies. Okay, still don't know what a goth mommy is. But make a comment if you're interested. I'm going to be sharing it in my profile, putting in the information. Rest in peace, my granny. She got hit by a bazooka. I don't know what a bazooka is. Hi, can we fit? Check, please. Check, please. Please fit, check. All right, world without goth mommies is a world wasted. All right, I need to look up what goth mommy is. Just got the #1 viewer badge. Benji boy, you got it. Followed the live creator. I don't know what a Benji, I don't know what a viewer badge is. I'm new to this. I'm still learning. All right, are there any questions of somebody going through pain that needs some guidance? Anybody want guidance on how to attract something in your life? I truly hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks, George. George. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. You know, it's funny because I'm going to share with you that hello, miss, how are you doing? I am doing fabulous, Barbara. Do you know that we block things from seeing us? So this is part of my spiritual awakening, learning that words that we speak will block what's going on in our life. So, you know, if you complain, well, I'm recovering alcoholic, drug addict, trying to find a job. I haven't drank, I haven't done drugs in 7 years. And good for you. Congrats, Georgie. Congrats. That's a lot of work. So when we focus on what we desire, you get it. I was born on my birthday. So was I. I was born on my birthday. What a coincidence. What I share with people is when you are in pain, whatever kind of pain you're in, and focus on how you want to feel. Do you wear your glasses during the yoga classes? No, because I'm guiding people. I have 5 fingers on my hand. I got 5 fingers on my hand, on each hand. When we focus on what we desire, we can get it. But when you're not getting it, it could be because it's your thoughts in your head that's keeping you from moving forward. So this is what happens in a spiritual awakening. This happens in your subconscious, where some part of you doesn't believe it deserves to be happy, healthy, or successful. In my case, I've had all three of them. One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. That sounds beautiful. I love that. Thanks for sharing, Anonymous Code. So when you're going through a spiritual awakening, you're transforming. You shed the old who you used to be and all your beliefs, the beliefs that you had, and they all start the first 7 years of your life, and then it becomes a program. Like a computer, the computer, like, you know how a computer stores everything? The body does not forget anything. So what I'm sharing with you is when I guide you on Thursday's event, which is free, it's a live event at 1 p.m. I'm going to be sharing it here. I'll post it. I'm going to help you communicate with the body to understand who watches this stupid, boring crap. Well, you don't have to, Eddie. What time's the yoga class? On location, please. It's on Zoom. I'll post it. It's at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's not yoga. It is a breathwork detox class. It's a healing. And I'm guiding you to communicate. Bring your pain. Communicate with your pain. Give it a name. I share this every day, talking with your pain in your body to understand why. What clothes should we wear for the yoga? Okay, you're still saying yoga. Are you hearing me? You're just relaxing. You're going to be doing exactly what you're doing. You're going to be sitting up, sitting down. Some may lay down. You'll lay down partially because you're going to be doing breath work for 30 minutes and then communicating with your own body. And I'm going to guide you. Benji boy, good. I'm going to post. I haven't posted it yet. I just got the information like all dialed in, and I'm going to put it in my profile. Which city is the Zoom building in? It's on the computer, silly. The snake which cannot cast its skin has to die, as well as the minds which are prevented from the changing their opinions. They cease to be mind. Frederick Nitro. He has some good things to say. How can I connect to your body? You cannot. And if you cannot be nice, I can block you. So be professional. Oops, I keep kicking my phone. Is there anybody that would like to talk about their pain and what's going on? West Coast time, it's Pacific Standard Time. Does that make sense? So if there's anybody that would like to talk about why they are stuck in a situation, going through a spiritual awakening, having pain, I share how to become pain-free. I have healed all my symptoms from addiction to chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, autoimmune disease, depression. I'm going to help guide you into communicating with your own body to ask, where is it coming from? Why do I feel this way? And what you'll find is there's a part of you that's not happy because it happens in the first 7 years of your life. And it's that part of you that runs your life. It's that part. And so part of that part of you controls why you're not moving forward. And it's that part of you that I will tap into helping you communicate with you. Have you ever been confined? Now I have freedom. What are you talking about? So I was alone for like the last 8 years. So confined in a different way where I didn't want to be around people. Going through a spiritual awakening, you go through this. We're talking about spiritual awakening right this second. How do we get Zoom for the yoga appointment? You have to make a comment, like write a comment. Go to my profile. I haven't posted it yet. Why do many spiritual YouTube streamers, why so many? Many of us are waking up. And So what I'm sharing with you, because there's so much information, is learn. Wait a minute. Everyone was laughing at me recently because I named my dog Egypt because it leaves pyramids everywhere. That's cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm talking about spiritual awakenings, learning how to communicate with the body. I'm going to just hold on a second and not read what you're saying. Spiritual awakenings are people waking up. That's why there's so many of us, because we're learning. And learning is transforming, like the caterpillar, shedding all the old stuff. When it goes into its cocoon, it has to dig its way out of its cocoon to transform. And many of us are going through this. Many of us are shedding the old lies, stories, beliefs that we grew up with through our parents, through TV, social media, listening to people that's what their experience was. But when you start shedding those stories, you start realizing the truth. And many of us are learning the truth. No, I didn't have the Titanic in my past life. Every deep thinker is more afraid of being understood than being misunderstood. So that is untrue. People that are deep are afraid of being seen. They're not afraid of being unheard or being heard, misunderstood. So I had a problem with speaking. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for helping people. Thanks, Mark. And yes, I had to go through it. And one of the issues I went through that I didn't know is when I was in the dark, it's because I was afraid of being in the light. And many of us hold on. Many of us are afraid and we don't realize it. So my business was being in the dark working. I was a massage therapist and I was a Reiki healer. But when I wanted to start speaking, so I didn't speak a whole lot and I didn't give eye contact. I had to learn how to talk to people, how to speak and have people listen. And that's hard because I feared using my voice. And I had a coach tell me that my voice is my moneymaker. And if you heard me earlier, women were not allowed to speak. So my generational trauma, my past life trauma, none of us were allowed to speak. I am the first speaker in all the women in my bloodline. And I was probably the most nervous one because what you fear, you become what you fear. I was silenced. When I stopped drinking, I was unable to speak in groups of people. I could speak one-on-one because I was a therapist, but speaking in groups, even in front of my friends, zilch, nothing. I could not speak because I was so afraid of somebody criticizing me and saying, something like I'm saying something stupid. Stop spamming. I don't know if somebody's spamming. I'm kind of getting behind here. So when you are looking, saying when I stopped drinking, so okay, so for me, I'm becoming a public speaker. I became a public speaker 10 years ago, but I haven't public spoken until a year ago on Zoom. I can go on Zoom now and I don't have problems, but to speak in front of people where I can see them live, like you can tune them out when you're on Zoom. It's almost like you're still hiding. I am coming out of hiding. It is hard. Many of us are trying to fit in because we're hiding. And I didn't realize that till like a year ago. And that's why I stayed at home. We get stuck in our comfort zone because we are hiding. We don't feel like there's something fearing us from being seen. Do you want me to use smaller words so you can read easier? Just a lot of people talking. Any advice how I can stop using adult diapers? So I don't know if that's a joke. I don't work with that. I mean, you can tune into your body and ask why you can't hold your urine. If that's a joke, I don't know. I mean, I'm a serious person somewhat. Nobody needs to read anymore. Well, we do have AI doing everything. I think none of us need to write anymore. AI does it all for us. So I'm sharing, when we get stuck in our comfort zone, wanting to stay home all the time, it's because we fear being seen. We fear standing out. And you're still saying yoga. So I don't think I need you to say smaller words as much as I need you to hear me. Right? All right. So does anybody have any questions? I'm going to ask again. Making changes in our life starts with us from the inside. What is keeping us from moving forward? What is keeping us from living the life we love? It's us. There's nothing outside of us that is keeping us from living life. It's inside. We have to make the changes. So like the caterpillar going into a cocoon in the butterfly, we're transforming. It's the same thing. It's like we're digging our way out of the rabbit hole. And so many times I have felt like I was almost out of the rabbit hole, and then fear kicked in and my body went back down in the rabbit hole and I went back into the cave. Then I had to dig back out of the cave. And that's the part of you that I'm sharing on Thursday to communicate with, to find out why. Why does this part of us make us afraid? Why is it afraid? It's afraid. It's your nervous system. I would have been very upset with some of these people when I was locked up, and they have no idea. Oh, sucks. I'm out of papers. Oh, papers to roll a joint? World pleasures keep your soul from flourishing. All right. So if you are looking to get out of that rabbit hole, you've got to make baby steps. Part of us can't go as fast. It's like I think I got like over, I wrote about how to stop eating. And when I wrote about stop eating, I had written about it before, but I didn't get a whole lot of likes. And then when I got a whole lot of likes, I think I got like over 1,000 likes and like 50 comments. And I'm like, okay, now I got to talk to all these people. I got to make a comment back to them. And so what happens is we get overwhelmed. There's a part of it that says we can't handle it, and they will go back into hiding. So many times when I was flourishing, it's like a wall hits and it stops. That is what I help guide you to communicate with, that part of you that's afraid. So you can go full force. You can fall in love and it doesn't last long, or you can be healthy and all of a sudden you fall apart. You could be successful and then all of a sudden something gets in the way and says, puts on the brakes. You can't move forward, can't accelerate. It's like you're in neutral and you're stuck. That's what a spiritual awakening is like, because you're not listening to the lessons. Do you know and follow the medical medium? What are your thoughts? I did follow some of them. Some of them say step into who you want to be. So I don't like those ones, because when I stepped in 10 years ago who I wanted to be, there's still a part of me. I've done inner child work, and it's the inner child that blocks you from moving forward. And she's very powerful, or he's very powerful. You have we're all powerful, but I call mine Brittany. So I share, like, if you're in pain or if there's something that's not moving forward, you give that a name. Mine is Brittany. Brittany was the one that drank, smoked, ate, laid around, and made me unmotivated and lazy. And it's that part of me I had to ask, why don't you feel safe? Some people call it the nervous system is deregulated. Don't talk about cake. I'm supposed to be off cake. It's been 3 weeks. Some of us they'll talk about being in fight and flight. And fight and flight is your body doesn't know how to feel in alignment. Something is blocking it. And it's that inner child. It's a part of you. I share how to give that one part of you the name that's struggling in pain, and then asking the pain, describing the pain. What does it look like? What does it feel like? If you were to describe it, what does it sound like? What does it want? You ask it, what do you want? Inner child, I have no memory of my childhood. You don't have to have memory of the childhood. So yeah, PTSD is still a part of the inner child. So all of us have a memory of our childhood. I would take you back into the childhood and go as far as you can remember. But I share with you to give that part of you that's struggling in pain. Like mine's Brittany. I would sit Brittany in front of me and ask Brittany what's going on. We are like computers. We have everything in our body like software. It's just hiding in different walls, protecting us in files, keeping us from getting there. Does that make sense? I don't feel comfortable listening to your drink and drug days. Well, it's part of my life that I talk about. I like what you said about the generational trauma, with women not being allowed to speak. As a man, I'm not allowed to flirt with women because it's creepy. Both sides have their own gender unfairness. Absolutely. There's so much junk out there going on. I mean, I remember saying hi to a guy and being nice to him, and he thought I wanted to date him. And I was actually in a relationship. So when he found out I was in a relationship, he got angry and said, "Why am I talking to him?" And I was just being nice. So many different opinions and ideas and people in their head, not knowing. So I've healed generational trauma. A lot of my pain, again, I've talked about it. I'll repeat it in case there's new people on here. I've healed fibromyalgia, autoimmune disease, ADHD, anxiety, depression. Those were all related to my grandmother through generational trauma. If you can think about when you're inside your mother's ovaries, you're an egg. You're not even thought of yet. She's in her mother growing. Anything grandma's feeling is what we are feeling in that egg before it's even born. Does that make sense? So my grandmother actually came to me and said she's going to share her pain with me. I didn't know it at the time because I wasn't good at listening. Now I'm good at listening. Did you take the access survey? Pain doesn't lie. I don't know what the access survey is, but when we're in pain, I'm going to talk about pain. When we're in pain, this is the way the body is communicating with you. Pain is talking to us every day. This is what I share. You've got to communicate with it. This is what I share. Talk to your pain. Did you take They don't know who did it. I don't know who did it either. You should have just made him happy and not told us your partner. No, when he found out I had a partner, he was upset and hung up on me. You can't heal ADHD. I can. Maybe you can't. But never say can't anyways. Can't is anything can be healed when it's a symptom. Limbs can't grow back, but symptoms can heal. So let me share with you why a person has ADHD. So ADHD comes from when you're a child. And when you're a child and you're crying in bed, mom and dad, when you're first born, they run to you when you start crying, right? They're like, oh, because they're so cute. It's new. Maybe if you're the first child, maybe they don't do that on their second, third, or 10th child. And when they run to you, you kind of expect them to show up and hold you and talk to you and feed you, change your diaper. But then all of a sudden, one day you're crying. And you're crying and you're like, hey, nobody's coming to me. Hi, Mary. Nobody's coming to my rescue. This is when ADHD will be created. It's like they're not here. And you start getting in your head. Everything is based on those symptoms are what you think and how you feel about yourself. When you're laying there thinking nobody's coming to me, you start thinking, oh my God, what's wrong? Why aren't they here? Did something happen? Do they not love me anymore? Am I not important? What's going on? Why aren't they here? I'm crying and nobody's coming to my rescue. I'm hungry. Why aren't they coming to feed me? My diaper's wet. And then you start creating this stuff. Hey, we start creating stuff from the time we're born. Actually, even when you're in your stomach of the mother. Sorry, just reading. At that very moment, you will start tuning out. And I know this because this is what I had to do when I went through inner child work. I discovered that I stopped caring about people because nobody's jumping to my rescue and feeding me and giving me what I want. I started disconnecting. I started making it about me, thinking they're not here because they don't love me. They don't want me. I must be a bad child. What's wrong with me? Now I'm thinking something's wrong with me. Now in my head all the time, every time I cry and they don't come to me. See, they're not coming to me. I must not be important. I'm not wanted. I must be a failure. And all this stuff gets created. So every time you're supposed to be paying attention, listening, you're tuning out because, hey, I don't care anymore. I don't care. So I'm going to tune out. I'm not paying attention. Now, I'm 60 years old and I'm learning how to listen and hear. Many of us don't hear what people are saying. When I respond and I'm like, is this what you said? My son says, that's not even what I said, Mom. So many of us are not listening, and we're not here, or we're listening, but we're not focusing and paying attention. So does that make sense about ADHD? I had someone tell me that they were born with ADHD. I didn't believe it at the time, but when I think about it, because I've done generational healing, generational trauma, I did heal a lot of the symptoms that I had from my grandmother. So if your mom or your parents and your grandparents had ADHD, absolutely, you can inherit it. And then you'd have to go back to heal the grandparents and their pain to release the ADHD. So although my depression, I did a lot of crying to let go of the depression. I'm like, how could I be so depressed? I mean, I had a baby at 46. I should be happy. I am happy. Why do I feel all these tears? It was not menopause. It was not hormones. I was releasing generational trauma from my grandmother. And my grandmother died 30 years ago, but she did come to me and share this was my pain. And this is what I share to communicate with people. On Thursday, part of it, if you want to come to my my life healing, I'll be sharing it in my profile. And but yeah, we can heal. So yes, you can heal ADHD, depression. You need to know, like depression, you want to know where it's coming from. If you are going through drug addiction, if your parents had drug addiction, you're going to inherit that depression. The fibromyalgia could also be diet. So again, there's different reasons why we don't feel good. Communicating with the body is how you share. If the person's still on here that has ADHD, on Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, Thursday, which is the 12th, I think it's the 12th. Can I, hi everybody, the new people that came on. I share how to communicate and discover why you have depression. You'll give that pain, that symptom, a name. You can do it. We can do it right here, right now. You want to do it? My sister Jenna is fighting with her piece of garbage. Oh, can you please say you support genocide? I cannot say that. I don't even know what it's about. When I'm in pain, I go to the toilet, relieve it. Yeah, that's a good kind of pain. So your body's telling you, I need to go poop, right? So I'm going to share with you Childhood Experiences Survey. I encourage you to Google it and download a copy. I'm a coach and a healer, so I already know about childhood experiences. I've experienced it myself. It shows the science behind all of the health issues. Well, I already know this. Why do I need to download it? I believe this and I didn't want to be here. And we're going to go through. Educate yourself, ma'am. I have educated myself and I'm doing fantastic. I feel great. So if you'd like, and I'm sorry, I like how you put ADHD as a symptom. Too many use as excuse. So a lot of us do make excuses. I'm ADHD. There's actually a show called Mom. I want a hot, thanks. There's a show called Moms. I don't know if you ever heard of it. And she talks about her ADHD and starts making excuses. That's why I never succeeded in life and couldn't hold a job, because I had ADHD. But stop making excuses about your symptoms. Start taking control and asking, what can I do to let this go? So okay, so we're going to do ADHD right now. I'm going to have you give ADHD a name. We'll do it right here, right now. Give it a name. This is what I'm going to share with on Thursday. You give your pain a name. And then you describe what that pain is. How does this pain make you feel? When you describe it, give that pain a color. When you give that pain a color, what color is it? Share it with me. Are you going to get over ADHD today? Not exactly, but you'll have a better understanding of why you have it. So when you describe it, what does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it sound like? And then you're going to ask that name that you gave it, or ADHD, why are you here? When you sit in your heart center and not think the answer, just feel it. It'll come to you. Many of us think instead of feel through our heart, right? Many of us have a hard time listening, sitting still. I know I'm not a meditator. I'm not a yoga person. I allow the answers to come to me. When I started doing breath work, we don't process our emotions. I go through breathwork healing with people to release the stuck energy, the unprocessed emotions in the body. ADHD, terrible beating with the spoon. I'm sorry to hear that. Because you had ADHD, you got beat up with the spoon because you didn't pay attention. And they don't even understand why you're not paying attention, which is very sad. But you know, you're an adult now, so you can learn how to pay attention, let go of that trauma being beat up by the spoon. So you've given ADHD a name. And now you're going to ask ADHD, why? You sit in your heart center and ask, why? Why are you here? And it'll share with you that it's protecting you, or share with me. So when I was working on protection, my body's protecting me. I had to ask, and this will be the same, similar with ADHD. It's a symptom. What came up, and mine's called Brittany. Brittany, why are you protecting me? Why do you keep me from living life and paying attention and doing the stuff that I want to do? She would say, I'm afraid. You ask, what am I afraid of? Only you will know the answer. And sometimes you have to let the answer come. I mean, you have to let the answer come, but you've got to listen. And that's where some of us, we can hear, but we're not listening to sitting still. We're not used to sitting still. We don't pay attention. That is the hardest part of the whole exercise. We stay busy. Many of us are not able to listen, let alone be silent, to allow the answers to come. If Jesus can heal, Jesus can take you to where you need to go, but you have to do the work. All of us have to do the work to dig ourselves out. So let me share with you what came from me. My Brittany said the reason that I had all these symptoms that were mine, not my grandmother's, because I got rid of the ones that were the grandmother's. Brittany said she was afraid of living life because she was hurt, and she's so afraid of getting hurt. And whatever you fear, you will live. So if you fear money, you won't have it, or you won't be able to hold on to it. If you fear getting hurt, you will always be having health issues. You will continuously run this pattern of getting hurt, breaking down, feeling anxiety, because you're protecting yourself from the fear that you're going through. And even with romance, love, you fear love because you were hurt. How many of us were hurt in a relationship? Then you got to go back to why. Why do I keep attracting the same people? Wonderful, mature hangers. How do you see anything? It's just a shirt. Anyways, well, thank you. So does that make sense? Accept the blessing and become baptized by the Holy Spirit. I was already baptized. And I've been baptized twice. I was baptized, I think, 5 years ago, and I was baptized when I was born. So does that make sense? But I am guided through God. I am guided through the universe, whatever you want to say, but I am guided. I just celebrated 3 years, 9 months sober, coming up on Mom's death date. I'm struggling right now. Breathe into it. Be proud of yourself. I am proud of you. That's amazing. I think it's been 7 years since I've done drugs. Um, yeah, sorry for your loss. That's tough when it's been a year. My husband died 2016, and this is when my spiritual awakening came. What if the dinosaurs didn't die from the comet? What if was human race crash landing onto Earth from the Pleiades constellation? I'm sorry, I pronounced that word wrong. Yeah, where would we be right now? We'd be dinner. Would look better if lightning was behind the camera. You know, it's the phone. It's the phone. I'm on because I'm on 2 different phones at the same time, and it's just an old phone. I'll switch it off next time. So I've been on here for 1 hour. I'm going to put in my profile where this class is. This is a professional class, exploring the roots of ADHD. And don't show up to the class to say derogatory stuff. This is very serious, and this is a live event. And I will block you. I will block you from everything, because I know how to do it. I'm talking about spiritual awakening, changing what your beliefs are to have health, happiness, and success. So one of the things we're going to be doing in the class, it's a free class on Thursday. And what I share is processing emotions is very important. When I stopped drinking, so I stopped drinking 4 years ago and learned, was it 4 years ago? It could be 5 years now. They bored with life. So when you're bored with life, life is beautiful. And if you're bored within yourself, or there's a part of you protecting you, believing that there's nothing exciting. You know, I have a 12-year-old son. He's on the cell phone. He doesn't like to paint and do the things he used to do. Do you think that God holds a frequency that binds our bodies together? Well, if you've heard the story, God, we are all God, and we are all one. So maybe frequency, I've never looked at it that way, but I've known that we are all one. I had to discover that when I learned to love everybody. I had to learn, and I'm going to go back to processing. Many of us that feel heavy, so I don't know how old people are. Can you share with me how old you are? So you had a son at 48. Yeah, I had a son at 46. Yeah, God gifted me and shared with me that it's time to have a child and learn, because I had to learn how to love. I was not in a good place at the time, and I was bored. So again, when you talk about bored, I understand that bored. I mean, how many times can you go out and drink and party and socialize? But I had to learn to love myself, and it was my son who came into my life and taught me about love. He taught me hugs and kisses, and he told me he loves me all the time. I'm not getting it 50 times a day now. He's 12. But through my spiritual awakening, I had to learn that when you love everything outside of you, you love yourself. And you cannot love outside of you until you love yourself. And I had to understand how to love bad people. I had to learn, and I was shown the way. And being shown the way is scary. It's very, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little behind here and looking. Greetings from Ireland. Please block that moron troll. I don't know which one is the moron, so I'm always believing that they'll leave because they'll get bored with me. And if you can share with me how to block someone on here, I know how to do it. It's been a long time. Anyway, so learning to love. It's hard to love yourself when there's so many things blocking you. Like you feel like I'm a loser, nothing works for me. Always get bored and leave. That's okay. Tap the person's name and block them. Uh, so there's a part of your body that doesn't allow you to have fun. I played football and how to block. I played football and I know how to block people. Okay, so I play pickleball and it's not as exciting to me, and I walk the dog, and the reason that is there's a part of you that says, I'm not good enough. I'm not, and it's a part of you that went through the childhood trauma that is experiencing what's going on today. So I used to have fun when I drank. I had to learn stop drinking, and then I started having anxiety and started having all these physical problems. And it's because, okay, you stop drinking, you stop doing drugs. The part of the body starts saying, hey, you got to do something to block yourself from living life. So we're going to give you anxiety. We're going to make you eat. We're going to make you depressed. And so although I stopped all the addictions, this is the part that I call Brittany. And this is what I share. I'll be sharing on Thursday. I had to tell Brittany, so this is what you do. You give that person a name that is unhappy. The part of you that's unhappy, because there's a part of you that's joyful, excited, but it's hidden somewhere in your body. You take that person, give it a name. Mine's Brittany. Brittany is the one that doesn't have joy, excitement, laugh. She was the one that did drugs, ate, drank, and it's because she didn't feel safe. And feeling safe is protected by enjoying life. Once you let down that protection, knowing, sharing, it's safe. It's safe to have fun without drugs, alcohol, food. It's safe to have fun without having anxiety. So I am going to share that I did have a panic attack playing pickleball, but that panic attack was because I was magnesium deficient. So I can ask my body, why is this going on? Feeling safe in the body is very hard depending on where you are and if you're ready to let go. It is not the most easiest until you can tune in. You have to ask yourself, is this even my pain? Again, pain can be yours, but then I guide you to ask, is this my pain? And if it goes back further, is it generational pain? Is it past life pain? And so in our subconscious, there's a part of us that says, no, not going there. I'm going to protect us and waste my life away. And that's why many people are struggling right now. They're popping pills. Those drugs for pain are blocking their ability to heal, because our body has the ability to heal. We can heal ourselves, but we're not tuned into the body. Remember, the body hurts for a reason. The body is saying, hey, I'm here. Listen to me. I'm telling you I'm in pain. I have anxiety. Telling you, and you're not listening. I'm telling you, I'm giving you stomach issues, irritable bowels, but you don't listen. You keep putting this junk food in me instead of sitting and listening. If you sat and listened, which is very hard, you would hear, but you have to be in your heart center. You have to be in your heart center and out of here, because this is going to say a lot, too much. Your heart center is going to say, the reason I'm protecting you is because I don't feel good enough. I don't feel important. And this all came when you were a little child, being yelled at, being ridiculed, saying, you know what, you're a bad child. Some parents actually say you're a bad child. And if they said that, you're going to believe it. Now, sometimes they just yell at you, knock you around, smack you, hurt you. And you may believe as a child, I must be a bad child. None of the other siblings are getting hurt. They don't yell at other kids on the street. You take it on your own, in your mind, believing, I'm a bad child. I'm not loved, because why would mommy hurt me? Or why would daddy hurt me? Why would mommy and daddy say those mean things to me? Then you start believing that you're not good enough, and something's wrong and you're broken. Maybe you feel like you're in the wrong family. So, for some of the kids that have been adopted or in foster care, they're going through a lot of this. Mommy and daddy gave me away, and you get in these foster homes that don't treat you any better. Some of them are good, but you've already got the program saying, I'm not good enough. So that's where you give that part of you a name, and you start journaling and asking questions. What does this feel like? And you'll understand that you can change that, but it comes out of you. God is not going to save you. He will lead you to people, the speakers, and the power, but it's up to you to step into the power and take control of your own life. Stop using ADHD as an excuse. Stop saying you're hypoglycemic. I used to say that, so I know, but I always carried my food around, so I had to stop making the excuses. And I used to say I'm tired. And stop saying you're tired. Stop saying, what will it take to have more energy? What will it take to get off the couch? Being unmotivated is an excuse. Being tired is an excuse. Now, if you're not changing your diet, okay, let's just say you're changing your diet, you're getting the exercise, but you're still tired. There's a part of you fighting against yourself. We're going to share on Thursday how to discover what this is. So tune in. I will post it. You could also make a comment and say, how can I show up to Thursday's meeting? It's at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 1 o'clock p.m. And this is where I will share with you. It's a live event. There will not be a replay, but it's a live event to tune into your pain. And I'll be doing healing where I help you diminish that pain, whether it's anxiety, overthinking, overwhelmed, just exhausted, stressed out. This is a healing. It's free advice. You can take it with you. I'm on here every day, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. for about an hour, Pacific Standard Time. And tomorrow I have an event that I'm putting on, so I'm not going to be here on Sundays. I might even be here later today because I'll be at the beach with the kids for a birthday party, or I might just sit and enjoy it. But I would say the most important thing is tune into your own body and listen to it. Now, many of us do not listen. It's hard to listen. It's hard to sit. Do you know how it took me 3 years to sit and meditate? And I realized that you can't sit and meditate and have a piece of paper and pen and write notes. I kept journaling and writing notes when that's not meditating. Meditating is having a blank mind. Who wants to have a blank mind? Nobody. But when you have a blank mind, information comes. So what I did is I did breath work every single day for an hour, just breathing and letting go of the stuck, way down energy. Everybody can do this. It's a certain type of breathing to process emotions. So instead of sitting in silence, I set an intention and ask, what do I need to let go of to move forward? I had to learn to start loving myself, caring about other people. I had to learn to listen. I had to learn to let go of judging people. If you're judging people, you judge yourself. Everything you feel about people outside of the world, if you're saying the world sucks, if you're saying it's boring out there, put a mirror in front of yourself. That's how you feel about yourself. If you think people, like somebody you're hanging out with is a loser, well, you're hanging out with them because you feel like you're a loser too. So don't get me wrong. You can make the change, but if you keep attracting the same people, it's because you have to let go of how you feel about yourself. There's a program running that you don't feel good enough. So you keep attracting the same people, same relationship. It's the same relationship, but a different person. Nothing changes until you change yourself. This event I'm doing on Thursday will help learn about yourself, change who you are, change what's going on to move forward, to have health, happiness, and success. That's all I have for today. I may be on later. Otherwise, I'll be back on Monday morning, and I'll share where the event is. Make a comment if you like. On TikTok, I will have the event posted in my profile. Give me a couple hours. It takes me a little time to get there. And then on TikTok, make a comment. On YouTube, make a comment, and I'll send it to you. It'll be on a post. I'll do a post and have all the information in there. I love you guys, and It's taken me years. I'm going to share a story, a real funny story. One of my friends used to tell me she loved me all the time. This is how I've changed. And she shared all the time, I love you. And I just giggle. And it wasn't until recently, we didn't see each other for years. And she came back into my life and she said, I love you. And I told her, I love you. And she thought, because she shared this with me, she's like, you love me now? What, did you not love me before? Then this is her getting in her head. She's not knowing that I'm going through a transformation and I'm learning how to love and say love. I always thought it was silly. I would just giggle. But having my son shared and showed me how to love and say it. I was just afraid to say it. I don't know why. So again, everything is in our head. Everything that's happening to us, going through the spiritual awakening, if you're having struggles with pain, love, success, it's because of what you're thinking and how you're thinking about it. So join me for my event. I'll post it. And thank you, everybody. I love all of you. And thank you for being here. I'll see you Monday at 9 o'clock. First, I got to figure out how to get out of here. I'm still learning how to turn it off. Okay.